Yo, welcome to another week of the I Am Him Kickback recap. I Jay, what's going on, boss?
What's going on, man?
How you feeling?
What do you do? Man, I'm feeling blessed. Feeling real blessed. Feeling real grounded, man.
Yeah,
Honestly.
man, we had an interesting conversation in the kickback.
Yep.
Our last session, like it was, man. I feel like for me, it was one of those conversations that even though collectively we worked together to try to figure out what the next question was going to be, I don't even think that I was ready for it. I mean, low
Man.
key, behind the scenes, we did think of that question. What 2 hours before, 3 hours before?
Yeah, last minute. Very last minute.
It's interesting. That conversation was about our voice as men and how do we use it. Thinking about the idea of silencing our voice like that. That's a real thing, especially for me. And it's funny getting
Yeah.
on the call. I didn't expect so many people to react the way that they did, and not only that, but um to really understand, like to give us in depth about why they silence their voice, or the different layers that cause them to do that. Like, how did you feel about the
Yeah.
conversation?
Man. Man, I felt like our last session was a gift. I feel like it was a gift. I feel like I'm really, really glad that our session was very elevating. I feel like we really, as a collective, identified what the root of a lot of men's problem, a
Yeah.
lot of our issues lie, and that's with our voice and the struggles that come with that, and understanding what areas. It was interesting to to see how everyone in the group saying like, "Man, I'm at my early stages when it comes to my voice."
Right,
Like
right.
it just seemed like a shared experience,
For
and
you
that was dope.
specifically, do you think that, like, was it triggering for you and how you handle your voice?
It was very elevating for me, very elevating. I felt so comforted, like knowing that other people like have the same issues or have the same like experiences when it comes to that. I didn't know that was a thing. Like I never knew silencing was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, like I finally have a name to this. And then other people are speaking more like, yeah, man, like, I'm 20 some years in with I'm like, whoa, this is huge. Like honestly, like this is huge. So um it definitely inspired me to that day, and definitely and it still is carrying with me like a confidence to allow me to speak more, knowing that that is a thing. I'm like, I don't want to waste any more life dimming my light to like or just rooms that I naturally automatically shrink in just because it's been on like autopilot for me. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I'm carrying this in all areas of my life.
Yeah. I said, I remember saying in our group, I was talking about how silencing our voice could get us labeled, rejected, and even punished. So, in a lot of spaces as men, we learn to adapt, right? And we thinking
Yep.
that because we adapt to the surrounding, that is our superpower in that moment, right? But what we really
Yeah.
don't realize is silencing our voice doesn't mean that we're gonna get peace in the end. Like,
Yeah.
and to some of us, like, even though silencing our voice hurt in that particular moment, we look at it as protection, and it's not. And I guess in some cases it is protection, because it's like we don't want to be attacked, we don't want to be judged in certain situations. So, man, for me, it was super triggering. And triggering for me, I always say it's not a terrible thing for me. Like, I don't look at triggers the same way. I always tell people that, like, triggers for me is to let me know or just remind me that I've been in that space before. So hearing other
Right.
people's story, a lot of times it's like, I felt that. Yep, that's one of those things. Like, yep, it got me fucked up, bro. One of
Yeah.
those. But I
Yeah.
think for me, that the biggest thing that the whole idea for me that was triggering was how many years it took off life for me.
Man.
I think that was the one thing that I was reflecting on as I was hearing other people speak. Like, man, it took me, I think, if I may be honest, 32 years to speak up. I'm 35 now, so 32 years, like half of my existence. So, to hear people say, and I'm gonna be honest, it's funny how when I hear people talk about, oh yeah, like it happened at this stage or whatever, and it's later in the game, I'm like, dang, like it's interesting of having a voice and then it getting shut down. Like I don't remember a time but previously that I had a voice that actually
Yeah.
mattered in the rooms and the spaces that I'm in. So to be where I'm at right now and my voice means so much, that's even to some degree, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it's an interesting perspective to be in because it's like when people validate what I'm saying, it's almost like it's hard for me to receive it because so many years it was I was in spaces performing. So I'm like, damn, is they performing now? Like because I'm
Yeah.
still kind of attaching myself onto my voice never mattered. But I'm learning that
Mm,
receiving their experience for what it is what it is. Like I respect it, I receive it, I thank them for it, and yeah, becoming one with who I'm talking to. But I will say at sometimes it is uncomfortable.
yeah. Yeah. Man. How did you like how at least where's your voice now when it comes to, you say 32 years? Like where do you think you are when it comes to your voice and developing that and for yourself?
I'm very much great at it because I love what I do.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting. I don't often feel like I'm saying much, right? And I feel like that's how sometimes. Like I'll be using languages that I'm like, this has to be God, because in real time I wouldn't say no shit like that. But
Yeah.
um, but I think it's so funny. Like my voice, like every conversation that I have with somebody, I'm getting validated so much,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, is what I'm saying really that powerful? And then I reflect on where they are in life and what they needed in that moment. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, okay, cool. And then I also see the difference in my language that it is versus other people, which is very interesting. But I don't know. I guess I could say like my voice is very powerful. And I feel like all our voice is powerful. I think that we all need to look at it as an intentional thing. I tell people all the time, like we got voice, but we don't have language most cases.
Yeah.
So a lot of us is really talking, but we ain't really saying shit. Like we are not adding value. We really are like spreading venom and disrespect and hurt in this world, and that's the reason why you get more pushback. So I guess that's the difference between my voice then and voice now, because I used to be one of them motherfuckers that just be talking shit about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think now as a coach, I'm very intentional and very cautious about what I put out. Not saying that I'm perfect, but in more spaces than not, I am very careful of how I show up. How are you working on your voice?
How am I working on my voice? Before I answer that, can I respond to what you just said?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's okay. I think, and I'll answer it. I just want to say, like, yeah, what you said, language is important. I think that is definitely a real thing, especially in our day and age when performance is such a commodity. Like, what I remember from that group where you said you're like, man, like I kind of lost my memories up to like 15. That really, really shook me
Yeah.
because, like, that is a real thing. Like your memories, to lose memories because you still like stuck on not being approved or not being like not that your voice matters. Like those, like that fades, and that it really shook me. I had to sit still after the call. I'm like, wow, like this isn't like all we have is our memories. That's all we have.
Yeah.
And so I was like, damn. And also want to say respect to all the other guys that's in the room who are learning their voice now and teaching their young ones in real time. Because that's got to be a hard thing to do, to learn something for yourself and still teach it while your own seed is showing like using their voice too, and it's like you're learning on the fly. So respect for them to for being in that situation where they got to figure it out in real time and teach it and learn it and teach
Yeah.
it back again. And I think that's really interesting. But to answer your question, where I am with my voice journey is speaking, but still trying to defend. Um,
Mm.
I think I think for so long, I've been, I feel like I've been performing and um, haven't shifted gears out of it, certain situations to where it's just automatic. And I feel like I want to know how to use my language. I want to know when to give myself permission um, to speak when it comes to work environments, when it comes to my relationship with my partner, when it comes to friends. I want to make sure that I'm giving in this relationship. I'm giving my words. It's not just them. It's us in this relationship. So, just wanted to know how to use it. And I want to ask you, like, not just for me, but for anyone out there, like, how can someone recognize that their voice is powerful, and how can they utilize it to the best of their ability?
I think when it comes to,
Eh,
oh, go ahead. What you were about to say?
No, I was going to add more context, like basically, like what tools, what ideals, what beliefs, morals, like what.
I was talking to somebody about that today. Like
Okay.
I asked them like, what is your intention? What impact are you trying to make? Or are you just talking? I like to tell them sometimes stick around for the results. See what comes out of it. You know what I'm saying? See
Mm,
the impact of how it affects somebody. And granted, like for example, you can ask
mm,
me something and I can honestly give you my experience and it can be impactful, but I think that in some cases, whether it's right or wrong, if my intentions was well and it didn't go and it didn't go right, I don't think that it will hurt that bad coming from me. Now I do want to specify though, like language and intention, if those are aligned, then you're going to get a better results. And I don't think that you would not come back to me just because it went wrong. I think that what you'll see is that I'm on a journey with you trying to figure it out. But if I give you information and my intentions is not well and it's to be a dictator, to be judgmental, to talk about where you are and you need to be here, that type of thing, the intention, the feeling behind it is completely different. Now you're in a space that you feel like now you got to prove something to me. I think when I share my experience with people, it's mine. It's my experience. If it works for you, great. I'm sharing this with you in hopes that you elevate. I'm not ever in the position where I want to tell you what you need to do with your life. That's not what I'm here for. So I think that to have impact, you got to have good intention. Your delivery got to be um, aligned with your intention. And then also sticking around to see the results, because sometimes it don't land well. Sometimes you'll know because a lot of people don't even know how they're speaking because it's so natural and they feel like they just giving advice. No, you're being the judge and the jury.
mm,
So I feel like
jeez.
with intention, you want to land the information in a way that somebody's going to receive it, not just talking just to be talking, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That was well said. I think, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I think sometimes I just be talking just to be
You
talking,
do.
man.
And I'd be like,
I
shut
be
up.
talking just to be talking. I be hearing myself sometimes. Like this morning, I was I was talking to someone and they had said like so they had repeated back what I said. I'm like, did I just say that? Like, and I just felt so embarrassed in that moment
Yeah.
that I had to just change the conversation. Like, oh, okay, so how's how's family? I had to change it because I was like, I was just so embarrassed that I was just talking.
Yeah. That's why I say
And
stick around for the results. Because when you hear back what you actually said, how you said it, and how it was received, it was like, what? What?
man, crazy,
That reflection is dope.
crazy. And I think it was I think it came from just being impulsive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it came from being impulsive. With being impulsive, like kind of like that intention that you're talking about, like speaking from the heart. Like my words just started flowing, and I didn't even get a heartbeat. Like I didn't get a pulse on what my intention was, and and I think that's that's the part of my development where I'm saying like, man, allowing myself to speak, not really feeling anxious that I have that I have a choice to speak
Yeah.
versus just responding just to respond. So
Gee, I'm gonna share this, and I hope people that I'm talking about don't choke me up for this. It's funny. A lot of people love my language, and they be like, "I said what you said that it and it don't hit the same." And I was like, "Cause your intention is wrong. Like you can't do what I do because in the space that you're in, you just want to be right, and being right ain't getting solutions because you can have the right answer and communicate it completely wrong. Everything you could say can be completely right, but because you communicated it wrong and you have the wrong intention, I didn't hear shit you said. So because then they
yeah,
gonna go back and be like, damn, like what? Like when I heard it, it hit different. Yeah, because it wasn't supposed to come from you. What you told them wasn't supposed to come from you. That's why.
yeah,
That's why your mom could say something to you and you be like, all right. But the right female with the right intentions and say it to you in a certain way, be like, you know what? You absolutely right. I do need to do that, right?
yeah,
You know what? I'm
man,
gonna get mine. You know what I'm saying?
man,
But
definitely,
that's why I Am Him Kickback is here for people that need to have, hopefully, a language from other men that are going through the same thing that's willing to share. So, we want to share. If anybody that is getting this recap, if there's anything that you need to get off your chest as a black man, we got a space for you. Every Wednesday, we show up, we offer information, we offer our experiences, and that's what it is. Hopefully, it lands correctly in a space that somebody needs to hear it. Hopefully, with the right intention. Sure. But until next week, we out.
yo.